Hey everyone, welcome back to Corporate Decoder, the place where we decode the complex world of business and finance with a smirk and a wink. Today we're diving into Tamboran Resources Corporation's latest report, and let's just say there are a few things on the agenda that might raise an eyebrow or two. Before we start, if you appreciate getting straight insights from corporate documents, make sure you are subscribed. We also have a Discord community linked in the description below where we break down more filings and share insights. This is an official report from Tamboran Resources Corporation, and it's about what happened at their big meeting of shareholders in December of 2025. Think of it like a yearly shareholder conference where decisions are made and votes are counted. So what's the main event here? Well, first off, they voted on who gets to be on the company's board. These are the folks who guide the company's big picture strategy. They had to elect 3 of them, specifically the Class 2 directors. We see nominations for Ryan Dalton, Andrew Robb, and Scott Sheffield. It is pretty standard stuff. They were elected to serve for 3 years, meaning they will be in charge of major decisions for quite some time. No surprises here, as there were no other candidates running against them. Next up, they needed to make sure their books were in order, so to speak. This means officially approving who checks their financial records. They voted to keep Ernst & Young as their independent auditors for the upcoming fiscal year. This is a crucial step to ensure everything is transparent and accurate for investors. The vote here was overwhelmingly in favour, showing a strong trust in their auditors. Now, things get a bit more interesting with the next few items. They're talking about issuing shares of the company's stock. Think of it as paying people not with cash, but with ownership in the company itself. The first of these is for Richard Stoneburner, the interim chief executive officer. He is going to receive over 27,000 shares of common stock, instead of some of the money he would have earned for his work. This is a common way to incentivize top executives, tying their reward directly to the company's performance and value. Then we have something for Scott Sheffield. He is also going to receive company stock instead of his director fees. This is set up for a 2-year period with a value of up to $200,000 each year, totaling a potential of $400,000. This is designed to give directors a vested interest in the company's long-term success. The shareholders have approved these stock issuances, which is a significant nod from them to these compensation arrangements. The same kind of deal is on the table for Philip Pace. He too will receive company stock instead of his director fees, again up to $200,000 per year for 2 years, for a total of $400,000. This reinforces the strategy of paying key individuals with company stock to align their interests with those of the shareholders. And to round things out, Jeffrey Bellman is also getting the stock for his director fees following the exact same structure, up to $200,000 annually for 2 years. Totaling $400,000, it is clear that Tamboran Resources is really leaning into this stock-based compensation approach for its leadership. And directors, the votes for these proposals were also strong, indicating shareholder support for this compensation strategy. Looking at the actual vote counts for the directors, we see very high numbers in favour, over 10 million shares voted for each of them. This shows a solid endorsement for the current board members. For the auditor ratification, the numbers are even more impressive, with over 11 million shares going, for the approval compared to a mere 1,233 shares against. This is a resounding vote of confidence. When we look at the stock issuances, they also received strong backing. For Richard Stoneburner's shares, over 10 million shares were voted in favour. Similarly, Scott Sheffield's stock compensation package got over 10.1 million for votes. Philip Pace's share issuance was also approved by a large margin, with more than 10.1 million shares voting in favour. And finally, Jeffrey Bellman's stock issuance also saw over 10.1 million shares voted in favour. It is worth noting that the report mentions that certain votes were disregarded because those shareholders might have had an interest in the outcome. But even with those exclusions, the support for these proposals is very strong. The report also includes exhibits. The main one listed here is the cover page interactive data file, which is basically a digitally formatted version of the report for easier analysis by computers. Nothing groundbreaking in terms of news, just the technical bits and pieces that make these filings work. The report is signed off by Eric Dyer, the Chief Financial Officer, on the 8th of December 2025, indicating the filing is official and complete. So, what is the story here? Tamboran Resources Corporation seems to be solidifying its leadership and rewarding its key players with company stock. This strategy, while common, shows a commitment to aligning executive and director interests with those of the shareholders. The overwhelming approval of these proposals suggests that the shareholders are on board with this direction. On the flip side, focusing heavily on stock compensation might not sit well with all investors. especially if the company's stock performance isn't stellar. The lack of specific financial performance metrics in this particular filing means we can't directly assess how these compensation packages relate to the company's overall financial health from this report alone. It's a vote of confidence in the current management and a clear signal of a strategy focused on long-term value creation through executive buy-in. Alright, that is our breakdown of Tamboran Resources Corporation's latest filing. What is your take on these numbers and what they signal for the company's future? Drop your thoughts in the comments. If this analysis was valuable, hitting that like button really helps, and subscribe for more deep dives. Don't forget to check out the Discord in the description. Thanks for watching. See you next time.